So April 22, after a year of suffering with this, he was forced to end his life.
What is up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. And this is not a hope-hearted video. I definitely wanted to give this side of the story. This is the rough side of post-Finasteride syndrome, PSSD, PAS, and this goes to the Marc Turner GoFundMe charity. They knew Marc. I don't know Marc. I wanted to, describe who Marc was, as well as he was completely normal before all this, and it seems like his symptoms were the absolute worst. As Eric said in other videos, over 300 people have taken their lives from a cosmetic hair loss drug, and this issue has not been addressed, and this is not a nocebo effect that, again, you'll hear who Marc was. It doesn't seem like he was suffering from any depression or craziness before, embarking into the finasteride hell. So, who was Marc? What happened to him? And how can you, move forward with this?
Yeah, so Marc, I first talked to Marc April 2021. He had recently gotten PFS, and we met through the PFS patient support program, and we started talking. And first, usually when I meet new guys, I just tell them, hang in there, give it 3 months, give it a year, you'll most likely improve. But with Marc, his symptoms are so bad, and if I added all the symptoms up, it would be around 30 symptoms.
Go into his symptoms versus yours.
So he had anhedonia, extreme anhedonia, where I can still kind of sit there and watch a basketball game, right? I can kind of sit there and get my mind off things, but he couldn't do that. He couldn't sleep at all. He would sleep 1 hour a night, and this went on for months and months and months. He got no relief ever. He had all the physical symptoms. He showed me pictures of his body before and after. And before, he looked kind of like a bodybuilder, bro. He had good shape, and he was lifting weights. He was athletic, and then his body broke down. He lost his job. He stopped going to work. He lost friendships. He was telling me he couldn't his family. It was difficult with his family. And he had to move in with his parents. And this is a guy. He was in his 30s. He was 30 when I met him. He was 35. And he had a good job beforehand. He was educated. He was smart. He had lots of friends, relationships. He had hobbies. He had everything going for him. And then this drug, within 1 year, it completely ruined his life. And, so April 22, after a year of suffering with this, he was forced to end his life. And I was talking to him up until that point. And a week beforehand, he was telling me that he had gotten addicted to benzos. Because the issue with PFS is you need some relief. So a lot of guys, they end up on benzos and other, various substances. And he developed a dependency on those. And then he told me, he's bro, I'm on these, but I literally, they don't do anything. They're not helping me, but I can't even get off them because of the withdrawal. So he had that going on as well. And then, his parents, I've met his parents. Me and Blake, we went to his memorial. He was a great dude. He has lots of friends. He was great. We'd always talk. I would go for walks at night, and we would always talk at least 2-3 times a week. He actually became a good friend of mine throughout this experience, because you develop a bond with guys because we're going through the same condition. And his family's been great. They've been funding research. They've been holding fundraising events, and he's just all around great dude. There's not a bad word I could say about him, and I'm fortunate to have considered him a friend, even though we only knew each other for about a year, but he was great. There's nothing bad I can say. I know Blake also, met him, so I guess he can chime in here.
Yeah, Marc was a very sad loss, and he was a great guy, brilliant guy. I only knew him for about a year as well. Met up with him. We picked him up one time just to cruise around to try to get his mind off things, try to tell him to, stick in there, and that, hopefully we're going to get a cure one day. But, he was a kind of no nonsense kind of guy. He was a lot braver than me. You know what I mean? The fact that I've been through this for 10 years and most people, what I put up with, the bullshit I put up with because of this syndrome is it's not even worth it. It's crazy what this has done to my life. And he wasn't willing to put up with the bullshit, and quite frankly, I don't blame him. He was a smart guy, a strong guy, and they murdered him. You know what I mean? He was murdered. I don't think he took his own life. He was just forced to do that. But yeah, it's that wasn't who he was. That's what he became, and he was a really good guy, and you know what I mean. I feel terrible for his parents, and it's just an example of what can happen in this, and how unfortunate it is, and what's happened to many different guys in this community. He's just one example. Very unfortunate.
Eric, I know this is a very sad story for Mark, but you said over 300 people have, ended it like that after Finasteride.
Yeah, so about 6 months ago, I put together an initiative to try to get Movember on board to support us, and they're the biggest men's health charity in the world. So I collected different videos to try to petition Movember to help us, and I got over 30 different submissions, and some of them were from mothers who have lost their sons to this. So young men who are like 20 years old, hanging themselves, and the pain never goes away for the family. I mean, it can be 10 years later. They're still distraught over it, obviously. I spoke to Kelly Pfaff. Her husband, John Pfaff, threw himself in front of a train. He took his wedding ring off, wrote a suicide note, dropped his 2 young daughters off at school, and then threw himself in front of a train. Lovely wife who still loves him, 2 young daughters, very successful, threw himself in front of a train. There are guys who have shot themselves in the head. There are guys who have ingested poison. There are guys who have hung themselves. All of us had good lives before this, and I have considered suicide every day for the past 1.5 years. And I have to actively fight those thoughts. I don't want to die.
And you never had those thoughts before?
Never. Like, I've had normal life problems like anxiety, and I've had, a bad boss and breakups. None of that fazed me. This is on a completely different level. I mean, it's pure hell. And what Mark went through, just imagine a normal person going an entire year where they only sleep 1 hour. I mean, this is like gulag level torture. And then Mark had 30 symptoms on top of that. And this isn't just symptoms like, I have a little rash on my foot. This is anhedonia to the point where you can't enjoy anything.
Mm-hmm.
Can't feel any pleasure at all. I took a bath in the middle of winter, and I could not feel any pleasure from that at all. I can feel no love. I can't feel anything like that at all. And we're being forced into a situation where it's just survival. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding. My genitals have changed. I have wounds that don't heal for over half a year. I mean, this is not some like psychosomatic thing. I had a good business. I had raised over $100,000 from a prominent investor in Hong Kong for my business. I had a great girlfriend, active social life. Why on earth would I have suicidal thoughts? It makes absolutely no sense. We're being forced into a position where we have to actively fight for survival practically every day. There is no joy in this at all. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, how can I advance this issue? There's no like, oh yeah, I can't wait to take a trip and stay at a resort. I've tried all those things. I can't even enjoy a massage. I can't enjoy going to the gym. I can't enjoy swimming. I can't enjoy orgasming. There's absolutely nothing for me but to fix this. If I don't fix this, I'm gone. That's it. I'm out of here. And why on earth, what would I have, what motive would I have to make this up? And it's not just me, it's tens of thousands of guys who are put in this position. There are guys who have osteoporosis because of this. My head has shrunk because of this, like Blake's has. And, like the things that we have to put up with, it's like a portal opens up and you get sucked into this like hell reality. I mean, I just want to fix this. That's all I want. Like Blake said earlier, if I won the lottery, if I won $100 million US tomorrow and I could keep that money or donate it all, every single dollar to fix this, I'd empty my bank account. I'd have $0 in my bank account.
Just a sad reality. These voices don't get heard, and the nocebo effect bullshit really gotta fucking stop. The fucking crazy dude laughing on camera about the nocebo effect. That dude couldn't sleep for a fucking hour for a year straight. You have no idea. You never experienced that hell. I haven't experienced that hell. I told people when I first got this that, you know, at least I'm not the worst, because I was reading the worst. And that just sounds like he must have been an insanely strong guy to just power through that for so long, and for benzos not to help him. It shows you the severity of his body wasn't reacting to anything. I mean, if you're popping benzos all the time, most people are fucking out. And he's still struggling with insomnia and caused him to go down that dark path. But hopefully with Eric and everyone pushing at the PFS network, we can find a resolution for everyone. Not just, you know, the lucky individuals, but everyone. You know, I would like to see an actual scientific approach. I would like to see the smoking gun revealed, and I would like to see everyone in this call have their lives back, as well as the obvious silent majority that is suffering. And then this research trickles over into PSSD and PAS, right? This doesn't just help the guys who took finasteride. This helps everyone on SSRIs, all the women who can't feel an orgasm anymore. Their clits don't work. They're completely numb. All that research that Eric is dealing with and funding will go and help those people as well. And they aren't organized like the PFS network. They aren't calculated. They don't have the Erics over there, you know, flying all across the world, putting together research teams and shit. They're very far ahead. And like I said, they're the tip of the spear. I would like to see you guys get behind this. I'll see you guys in my next video.